And we're back. This is the first time I've seen those people work in like a week. I've never seen them ever twice in a week. So we are here for the before and after for Unsane, directed by Steven Soderbergh, who last directed Logan Lucky, which was great and amazing, and it proves that Daniel Craig should just stop being Bond and make other films. But anyways, this is an edited, filmed, but not written by Soderbergh, and it's filmed on an iPhone and edited. Are you excited for that? iPhone.
Yeah, sure.
You're a
pretty sure it's
filmmaker.
modded though. Pretty sure like there's different like lenses used on the phone.
Yeah.
To make
I mean, like we looked up who wrote it, so I don't think I'm expecting much from the writing. It's the two writers that worked on Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan back in 2010, and they haven't worked on anything since, so that's always exciting. Claire Foy is in this. She's in The Crown, so if the Crown fans want to see her running around and being thrilled, or you missed her from season 1 and 2, you can watch this. So I don't really have any expectations. I mean, it's a thriller, psychological thriller, medical things, drama, I don't know. Juno Temple's in this, but writing, I don't expect anything.
I don't know, like it's this comedy writer writing horror stuff.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. This is free. Thank you again, Videomatica, for free tickets. Anyways, this is before and this is after. Whoa, wow.
Amazing.
So first off, we have to, so it's directed by Soderbergh, and he did the cinematography, which clearly shows, and he also edited it, just to add that in. Just to go through the cast, Claire Foy, great stuff, really makes me want to go back and finish Crown. And we got Joshua Leonard playing a pretty big part in her life, pretty much the reason why this movie even exists. So I feel like they had pretty good presence. Everyone did a good job. Even Jay Pharoah, who plays like Nate, the black guy, he had presence. So I think overall everyone did their what they needed to do. I mean, even the random nurse that I probably can't find in the, I mean probably can, but I don't remember her name. But the intake nurse, like they had presence. They were just like really down to earth, and I think this adds to the authenticity of it being shot on an iPhone. It feels more like edgy in the sense where it's just more real. I mean, granted, like the iPhone thing, you could call it as a gimmick, but what have you. But seriously, him pulling it off on an iPhone, really great stuff. And I love how it pull off that's so cinematic that you forget that it's shot on an iPhone. Yeah. Like there are moments where you'll remind yourself that it is an iPhone because they get into these crazy, awesome angles. You cannot pull it off in your traditional camera because it just doesn't fit there. Yeah. Or you just need a better, I don't know, you just need a fake set to fit your camera under a sink, but that's just like a waste of time. So really awesome to have him showcase, like what was it, iPhone 7S? Yeah, iPhone 7S. So props on that. So hopefully, you know, this will sort of propel more. I mean, it's already there. Any YouTuber can pull it off, or give you hope that you can pull off something like this on a phone, depending on, you know, what aspect ratio you put this movie in.
And it's always going back to the story now, because like every film equipment is so accessible.
Yeah, so it's not about, oh, I couldn't do it because I don't have a camera. It's literally like, dude, pick up your phone.
It's about if you have a good story, if you want to experiment with your angles, I mean, there's always the tools.
Yeah. It's just what story are you trying to tell? I mean, even if good or bad, I mean, stories are dead and done with, but it's just like, what are you doing? What are you contributing? And here, Soderbergh, I've only recently watched his stuff, like Logan Lucky. Like seriously, Logan Lucky and this movie, totally different, like, directors, literally. Like it's like if you just didn't tell me the director's name, just like bam, bam, can you believe it's the same director? I'll be like, no, this is a totally different vibe. So I am very excited just to, you know, check out his rest of his filmography. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like with this movie, if you watch the trailer or read up the Wikipedia, it's a horror film or a psychological horror thriller. And this is definitely beyond that. I mean, granted, it's a thriller, but it's a lot more. There's more to it.
It's very ambiguous. Yeah. Like when it comes to when it first started, it felt like a dark comedy almost, because like the rhythm and the way people interact.
Yeah, there was some dry delivery, but I felt like it was just the character was that. It wasn't for a comedic effect or anything. Yeah. And like you're saying, horror vibe or whatever. It's just like, how do you even advertise this or market this film? Yeah, like we watched that trailer yesterday for this movie while we were watching.
It's like something supernatural.
Yeah, it's just like, I was going into thinking this, she's probably nuts or there's a ghost involved. Yeah. Why am I watching this in March? It's like, why is this movie even coming out in March? And then it's not like that. So I feel like definitely this movie will sell itself because his name is on it.
Yeah.
And hopefully Claire Foy fans will love it enough to go watch it and then be appreciative of his art form. Because literally this is an art film, man. And it's not, it's not entertainment. Like, you're not going to go in this and be happy about it. I think it comes out at a very sensitive time too, I feel, because of how everyone's trying to be PC, like mental illness and just all that stuff.
We're talking about, but it's not poking fun of mental patients.
But there's that dry humor. Like, there was that one scene where it was very like powerful, but people were laughing because it was just so, I don't know, it was kind of cringe. And
I do think it's more like they're exposing the system.
Yeah.
Like, people are always buy the book.
It's so like dirty money on Netflix.
Yeah, so when things happen, people don't know how to react to it because they just know how to stick everything.
That's true though. Yeah, that scene was really awkward. It's like, how do you react? They just laugh it off, type of thing. So there's that. So if you're a sensitive person about PC and all that stuff, maybe not the film to watch. But I feel like this is an art form, and like you were saying, like, how do you feel about this overall?
Well, at first, it felt a lot like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Jack Nicholson, and then I really enjoyed how it took the turn. About midway through, it became a different movie, so it takes you on a very emotional roller coaster.
Right, and it does it flawlessly, like where it doesn't feel like why are you changing the movie, or that was awkward.
It's so subtle.
Yeah,
it's so subtle that suddenly, oh man, this is getting really, really out of hand, and then bam.
And I also love how all the narrative sort of like devices are also subtle. People not showing up for some reason. Like, they don't really spend much time on what happened to them. It's just like, it's done. We showed you what happened. Mm-hmm. You put it together in your own head, and I love that. I love how he trusts us as audience to put it together. Yeah. And it actually impacts the rest of the story because now we know something that Sawyer doesn't know. The main character Claire Foy, like, she doesn't know what happened, and we know, and it's just like this thing that lingers with us. Whereas like it takes forever for her to find out. Yeah. And you just know what's gonna happen when she does. And I loved how it's so subtle. I love how he just really trusts us. Like it's always a breath of fresh air when directors are like, here, audience, you can figure it out.
Well, it's like annihilation. Okay, it's like annihilation.
Yeah.
When it's play out to you.
I don't know. Great. I was totally wrong about Annihilation. The one thing for me, I think, out of the entire film, I think there was only one moment where it felt like, why? It was this one scene where she runs off somewhere and someone else shows up, and I was like, dang it, that's like what happens in every other film. Because the movie, for me, felt like totally something different, and it's like different from whatever's been coming out. But then when they did that trope, I was just like, no. But then I love what happened after. The visuals in the forest was great, and just what happens was also great. But just like that transition, I feel like they should have. That trope could have been done in another way, where it's like, maybe for me personally, I felt like if she just ran off and he just chased and he caught up to her, I'll be just like, oh, this is dumb, but whatever.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
But at least is that happens, but then the ending is great. Because when that happened, I felt like I was watching Don't Breathe again. Okay. It's like, no, Don't Breathe. That was so bad, because it's like, the movie should have ended. Nope, it keeps going. The movie should have ended. Nope, it keeps going. I was like, no. Like,
I like how this movie ended with a freeze frame of her.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
It was like, oh. Yeah. And then there the story goes.
And then it also, like, when the ending also brings up the whole point of the movie. Is she stable, or what is she? Well,
I think after she was I think the movie wanted to talk about, like, if something like this big happened to you, if something so traumatizing happened to you, you're never the same again. Yeah. So I think she would never be the same. Yeah. Unfortunately, but she's still. That is life. You grow and you move on. Yeah, but she still stays true to herself. Yeah, she's still that mean person that she was in the beginning of the movie. So
that's true. That is one thing.
She doesn't change much, but like maybe like internally she has some damage, but like.
But you see the character. Yeah,
she has learned to cope.
Because I feel like in the beginning, when her character starts being introduced, you sort of feel like, oh, she's just mean because of her job. But actually, no, she's mean because she's mean.
No, yeah.
So anyways, enough of like just story. I mean, I'm actually glad the story came out the way it is, because when we looked up like the who wrote it, I was like, well, these guys haven't been working for the last 7 years, so well, good job, I guess.
Good writing.
Yeah, it was actually, I was like, that was the one thing that was sort of like, oh no, please be good writing. I know it's gonna look good, but is the story gonna be good?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I loved it. I loved how you were saying what was that thing you were saying? Because okay, for me, I haven't seen much of his stuff, but you have seen it. So you're saying how.
Well, Soderbergh is like a student that never stops learning
Yeah.
and never stops changing the way he makes movie. And then with all the visual things happening right now, I think it gives him more freedom to explore, like in a narrative sense and a cinematography sense.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. I mean, I am in all for his next movie. So
I mean, he made like
be
a
surprised.
hospital hallway cinematic.
Yeah.
Like that's great. Like you feel the tension, and it's not just like, hey, look, let me do a tracking shot because I can. But it's rather like, no, this is adding towards the story, and it builds and it builds character, it builds the narrative.
He's a filmmaker that doesn't draw attention to himself. Oh, so we notice how good he is, but he, just let his work do the talking.
Yeah.
Just let his work does all the talking.
I mean, granted, there was one scene where like they're in the confinement room, and then it got it kind of overact to be like, hey, look what I can act.
Yeah.
Look at my acting.
Yeah.
But I felt like as a whole, you see that build up to be like, no, she's
Yeah, the
like I'm fighting
confrontation.
this, and then it's like the
'Cause-
confrontation.
yeah.
I'm in your face. Let's do this. You want to do this? You
The
want
story-
my attention? You have my attention.
It's also low key about her redemption too, because she at first ran away from the problem
Right.
before the movie
Yeah, now
starts,
she's,
and then
like,
now that she
running
has to,
towards it,
now that she has
straight
to
on.
face it, forced to face it.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, enjoy that, and I love that cameo. I think this particular actor is very good at cameos now.
Yep.
I think he should just resort himself to just cameos.
Not
just don't.
no more.
Yeah,
starring in big
you don't need
movies.
to be in big
no
movies
more in
anymore.
big movies.
Yes, you have proven yourself after Thor Ragnarok, and now here you have proven yourself as the cameo.
Yeah,
Like he actually added, like, because it's just like it's such a weird feeling because you know
Who he is,
who he
yeah.
is, what
He's
he's
a star.
done, and then now
He's a
he's
star.
in here doing
And
such
it's not Tom Cruise, by the way. It's not
such a
Tom
subtle
Cruise.
role, and it's like ironic because he's talking about guns and checking things, and it's like, oh, the movie that blew up for him was all about guns and checking things, and it's just like hilarious, like this meta of like dimension breaking. It's hilarious. So I look forward to his other cameos in the future. So
Yeah.
keep doing cameos. I'm all
Yes.
down for that. So anyways, yeah, it was enjoyable. I sort of wish I had more real expectations going in. Like I don't want to say that like, oh, this is so good because my expectations were low. Because seriously, to be honest, I was expecting a horror film to be like a cheesy B movie. But then I know it's directed by him, but I'm like, oh, what? But then I don't know. So I sort of wish I didn't see the trailer, and the poster also sucks. But I did love that shot where she took the wrong drug and then she went nuts looking for the crayons.
Yeah,
and
where
it's
it's
like
overlaying
two shots.
two
That was
shots.
fun. Like it's just that was trippy. Like
Okay.
that was good. Reminded me of like Inherent Vice, where it's like, oh, they're high again.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
she was kind of high.
Yeah, check it out. Claire Foy, Soderbergh, check it out. I mean, if you haven't seen, check out Logan Lucky, and then check out
Ocean's
this.
11.
Ocean's 11, freaking Magic Mike. Holy crap, this guy is like
All
unbelievable
over the
in
place.
range.
Yeah.
It's like George Miller doing Mad Max, and then
Babe, he did Babe. He produced
Babe.
Yeah.
and
Picking the scene.
what's that penguin?
Happy Feet.
Happy Feet. Like freaking, how do you do Mad Max and then Happy Feet? That's just nuts.
To
So-
show you how creative, people
I don't know, maybe
can be.
Soderbergh's next one should be an animated.
Oh,
Or stop motion. Produced by Wes Anderson.
Oh, man.
That'd be insane.
It's like art house.
Anyways,
Fiesta.
it was cool. Again, thank you, Videomatica, for this prize. And yeah, this is it. Check it out. And this is the before and after for Unsane. See, even the name sucks.
Unsane.
Yeah, I don't really dig the name.
Unsane yourself.
Whatever. Okay, later.